So yeah, we've got an unusually high level of diversity here. Very fortunate.
If the grid went down, let's just say supply chains grinded to a halt, the grid goes down, how long do you think you could sustain out here right now with what you have?
Well, me personally, probably indefinitely. If I had 6 or 8 people here, that might start to get more challenging. There's just any amount of stuff out there to eat, but that many people would probably exhaust it pretty fast. So we're going to have to get on the stick about boosting our food production. So this is one of the shelters that we have.
This is so cool. It's like a spaceship.
Yeah, that's exactly my thinking. Yeah,
it's hard to explain, but these walls come in, and then you're just looking down.
It's based on a Mongolian dwelling, which was actually nomadic.
Yep.
Called a yurt, but this is a wooden version, designed by a man named Bill Copperthwaite, who lived way up in Maine, very remotely. He was off the grid more than me.
Okay.
Had to walk into his place for about 20 minutes.
Are there a lot of people doing this?
I think so. I have no idea how many. I think they're scattered all over the place.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know. The more remote they are, the less they're known.
There was a very big back to the land movement back in the late 60s, early 70s. Most of them gave it up and went back home because their parents kept nagging them to grow up and get a job, but not all of them. So you have these lingering pockets here and there. Silo, just down the road, is the oldest intentional community in America.
Oldest intentional community in America.
A mile and a half down the road. That's partly why I'm here. Silo Community Incorporated. It was started before World War II. Had a lot of draft avoider types. It was started by a man named Arthur Morgan, first head of the TVA. He was the first head of Antioch College, if you ever heard of that.
Sure.
It's quite an experimental outfit. A lot of Quaker influence. They have like 1,600 acres. They got like 50 families. It's a intentional community. But not like Twin Oaks. I mean, they don't all work on a business together. Everybody's got their own.
They're driving
career.
off the community to work or something like that, maybe? They could drive off the community to go to work?
Oh, sure. I mean, there's carpenters, a lot of them are craftspeople, there's doctors.
So they just want to be with a group of like-minded people?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be more of that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's the next big challenge, is for us to relearn how to live in community. Because, our emphasis on money and so on to fill all our needs means we don't really need each other. It's so crappy that it would be pointless to try and fix it up. So we're just using it until we can get something rebuilt up above.
Okay.
Has a dirt floor. I mean, what do you, it's like a joke, really. But we do the best we can. So these are all Chinese herbs.
So these you're purchasing? Or
Yeah.
these, okay,
Yeah.
they don't come from here.
Most of them grow in my garden.
Oh, they come from your garden?
No, not in. What's in my garden is not enough quantity
Okay.
to do this. If we harvest stuff from my garden, we'll typically tincture it.
Okay.
These are tinctures in process.
It's sort of like a canning process, or what is that?
It's preserving with alcohol, extracting and preserving with alcohol.
So how long do you do this for?
About a month. Then we squeeze them out and put them in bottles.
Oh.
And
you're
boosting stuff, antiviral stuff, good for the brain, good for sleep, good for anxiety, good for broken
So
bones.
you're selling this here?
Mm-hmm.
So people have to come here to get
It's
it, right?
self-service. People come in, get what they want, leave some money.
Oh, great. So if someone's in North Carolina, they just got to walk up here, come into this building, take whatever, leave a donation.
$15 for a 2-ounce bottle
Okay.
is the asking price. I've thought about just not having a price and like pay what you think, but a lot of people are happier if you tell them how much to pay. They don't want to have to think about that,
This is beautiful in here, Joe. This is like a whole nother zone. In an old cabin?
Yeah, that's what I built out of the trees that were growing here in the middle. And I used more of them to build the building that burned down. That was the first thing I ever built. I had a foxfire book, and it told how a traditional Appalachian cabin was built. I personally am just very drawn to mountains. And mountains are very big in Chinese thinking too, philosophy and medicine as well. If a herb is good for something, it's twice as good if it came out of the mountains.
Okay.
Because there's more of this chi energy in the mountains. I don't know if he's home. Jeff, are you here?
Okay, so one of your workers lives here.
Yep.
Oh, this is so cool.
There's 2 houses like this that also have a sleeping loft. And then there's 2 yurts. And then there's various places where we built a roof, but we haven't gotten around to walls and doors yet.
Okay.
The whole idea of this future community is it's going to be some gardeners and some builders and some organizers, some people that can do computer, website, you know, outreach, kind of just a variety of folks. This is Ryan. He's been coming for several years. He's terrific help. And Kate, this is Kate's 2nd year. She has a lot of gardening experience. She's great. Rich is just showing up today for the first time.
You just came in.
Splitting wood. And
nice.
This was half of my life work right here. The other half being the garden. So the half that was right here was my lifetime library, and it was an exceedingly good library. The whole back wall was booked. There was books. It was full of books. And then the back end was my apothecary. There was a whole wall of tinctures of both Chinese and native plants, and another partial wall of dried Chinese herbs, and maybe 100 different species. There was a cabinet which had my seed bank, some of them quite rare. The fire even was so intense it affected the greenhouse over here. That also burned up.
How did it start?
It started by accident, by a foolish person who made a fire in this very fire pit on the deck, which has been done thousands of times, but he neglected to put it out when he went to bed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all it took.
Right.
At 5 in the morning, it was fully inflamed. When they woke me up, I ran downstairs, grabbed a fire extinguisher, looked outside, and dropped the fire extinguisher. Forget it, the whole building was in flames.
Right.
Running up, 50 feet high.
This is where you cook your food?
That's a pizza oven, periodically fired up for baking. This is meant to turn into a workspace at some point. You can see there's windows everywhere. There's just stuff everywhere. Kind of maddening.
It's a lot to manage.
In the old yurt if you want.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
There's
another yurt.
Anybody in there at the moment.
Yeah, so if you don't keep up on this, this is basically jungle. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
In 2 months, it's taken over everything.
There's no ghost towns in Appalachia. You go out west, and there's buildings that are 100 years old. Not around here.
They just get grown over.
The mushrooms will eat it. This is the oldest building here, it's almost 50 years old. It's really on its last legs. There's a lot of rot.
Okay.
Been neglected at different times. So just as an effort to get a few more years out of it, we covered the whole roof with plastic. It can't really be repaired.
Oh, this one looks nice.
Oh, it's one of my favorite spaces of all. There's something really nice about having a dwelling space without corners.
Yeah.
Everything you own is just like within your peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Also makes it easier to keep warm, for example.
And this stays plenty warm in the winter with that one stove?
It doesn't hold heat.
Okay.
But it's very easy to heat up.
Yeah.
So you can come in there when it's 20 degrees and you can have it comfortable in 20 minutes. It's on its way out. It used to have an openable skylight, which was very nice for ventilation. So this is kind of a last-ditch effort to get a few more years out of it. I'm going to feel very sad when it finally has to get knocked down, but it's inevitable. More and more of the people that are moving in are more middle class, it seems like. They just want to get out of the city. They don't necessarily have the kind of idealistic goals that I have and had. They want to have some chickens and a vegetable garden, and it's great.
The pandemic really did that, huh?
I gather, I'm pretty sure that's where it's coming from. Possibly a certain amount of, I'm told that the phrase is doomsaying. I had never heard that phrase until last weekend. But, you know, a certain amount of worry about the future. So it's wanting a better life, but it's also being worried that the life you have back in the city or whatever is not going to work forever.
So what they're getting for that is they're going to get to live for free here, but the big takeaway is you're going to learn how to live in an environment like this, pretty much completely removed from someone who's done it for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Educational opportunity. Room, board, and educational opportunity is what we
Okay.
have to offer.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Respect how you're living and how you've lived.
This is great.
It's very, very cool to see.
Good.